Hey guys, this is the Skill 3 Moving Terms Across the Equal Sign video. If you are watching this, you needed to complete Skill 3 in your packet, as well as the blue sheet after you've watched the video. So if we look here, and we see this scale up here at the top, this scale is saying that they're balanced, that they are equal. And that is really what we have going on when we think about an equation. For this scale here, it is saying that x plus 2 plus 7 is equal to x minus 4. So sometimes when we have this equation or this balance, we have similar terms or common terms on opposite sides. So if they were all on the same side, right, we would want to combine the x's together and we'd want to combine the numbers together, those integers. However, some of them are separated by that equal sign. So this video is going to teach you how to move them. So if we look and we see, to get our chosen variable to one side, which is one of the first goals of solving equations, we need to move terms across the equal sign by adding or subtracting the terms we want to move, just like we added and we subtracted when we were combining like terms. If the term is currently positive on the side that you have it, then you are going to subtract it from both sides. Because if we think about it, the opposite of positive is negative. And then if the term is currently negative, we are going to add it to both sides. So we are always thinking about opposites. And if we're thinking about opposites, then our final goal is moving variables across the equal sign helps us to get those variables to one side. So again, it helps us get all those variables to one side. So just like the other videos, we're going to go over a few, I guess, equations here. Sometimes we might have to go through and we will have to use some skills that we learned before, combining like terms or even distributing as well. So if we look at example 1, our instructions don't say to solve, but they say to move across the equal sign and then combine if possible. So we are looking just at the skill of moving and combining the variables. If you can do it to the variables, once we start equations, you can also do it to the constants or the numbers that are by themselves. So if we look here, we want to identify first what our variable is. And if we see we have a 3x here and a 1x on the right-hand side. So we need to move one of those terms to the other side. Usually you want to use the smaller number as the mover. So because x is smaller than 3x, we are going to move x to the left-hand side. So if we go through and we look at this here is a positive x. So if we look up above, if we saw a positive sign, we needed to subtract it. So we are subtracting x from both sides. And remember, that is like a 1x. So if we subtract x minus x, that ends up canceling out. So the only thing I have on that right-hand side, you can't really see that green, can you? The only thing that I have on that side here left over is negative 7. And then on the left-hand side, we would do 3x minus x. So 3 minus 1 is 2x, and then that plus 9 is still there. So if we look, now we have all of the x's on the left-hand side there. So we have moved the variables across the equal sign. There was nothing that we could combine because 2x and 9 are not like terms. So if we look at this, we have successfully answered the problem. If we look at example 2, again has the same instructions, move across the equal sign and combine if possible. So for this one here, if we are moving, we see negative 2x, and we see negative 5x. So here, you want to think about, do you want to deal with negative numbers or with positive numbers? Or, if I said move the smaller one, which one of those negative numbers is technically smaller, furthest away from 0? And that would be my negative 5x. Now, if you decided to move the negative 2x, that's fine. You would just be working with a negative number. So if I'm going to move my negative 5x, since it is negative, I'm going to add 5x to both sides. And when I add that 5x, I'm going to represent this one a little differently. Again, if I have 5x on this side minus 5x plus 9 is equal to 5x minus 2x plus 3. So this time, the way that I'm representing it is, you can see I've added a 5x to both sides. We know if we combine like terms on the left-hand side, 5x minus 5x cancels out. It goes away, and it just leaves that 9 on the left-hand side. And then if I'm combining on the right-hand side, 5x minus 2x is actually going to be 3x, and then I would have plus 3. So again, on this one here, we have successfully moved our variables to one side. Now, on the last one, example 3, this time we have to distribute, move across the equal sign, and then combine. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to distribute. 3 is our distributor, and it is going to both x and 2. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 2 is a positive 6, and that is equal to 5x plus 2. So then when we look at this one, we have to think about which variable we want to move. We have 3x, and we have 5x. So I would choose to move the 3 because it's smaller. So if I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides because it's positive, and then rewrite it in here, I would have 3x minus 3x plus 6 is equal to 5x minus 3x plus 2. So if I'm combining like terms, 3x minus 3x is 0. So that just leaves me with a 6 on the left-hand side. And 5x minus 3x, like terms, I can combine them, is going to be 2x. And then I have plus 2. So next week when we get into solving equations, then we will also move the constants to the same side too. But this video was just for moving variables. So now that you have practiced moving variables across an equal sign, you are now going to do the blue sheet. Thanks for watching, guys. Go ahead and work on that blue sheet.